Hey everyone, either welcome back or welcome to my channel. And in today's video, I want to offer my best tips on kind of how to adjust to some of the things that you guys have had to adjust to. And this is my advice to those people who have never had to deal with this kind of stuff before. And so to those of you who watch my channel, you're probably used to direct advice for you. And I think this is a great video to share with your friends and family. So before we get into any more details, time for the intro. Back in 2018, I was diagnosed with IIH. IIH is short for idiopathic intracranial hypertension. In short, in IIH, there's an increased intracranial pressure without a known cause. IIH is known by two older names, pseudotumor cerebri and benign intracranial hypertension. Living with IIH is very hard to explain to others, as it can be hard to tell when I'm not feeling well. My hope is that through these videos we can learn together and help make relationships better through a better understanding. I also hope to provide people living with IIH a community so they never feel like they are alone with this condition. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell down below so that you get updated about further videos. I upload new content every Monday and Thursday afternoon. So I have done something a little bit different with this video that I normally don't do in videos, and that is I've made a few notes. I normally don't do this and normally just talk off the top of my head and whatever comes to mind and then add in anything that I think about when I'm editing. However, there's some things in this video that I want to make sure that I definitely talk about, so I have written some of these down. So if you see me turning this direction, I am just reading off of my notes on my computer. Now, I do want to say something before I move on that I do want to just talk about quickly, and that is those of us with a chronic illness need periods of doing nothing to recover. Let's get into my tips on kind of the best way to deal with this. And this is coming from what I've had to change. So my first tip is based upon my experience specifically with IIH. Because IIH is idiopathic, not a lot is known about it. So there's a lot of uncertainty involved with not only managing the condition, but your treatments often change all the time. You'll have things that come at you that will feel like, I can't keep up with this. I don't know how to keep up with this. They're throwing so much information at me. My first piece of advice is not everything is understood. Therefore, expect constant changes as new content comes out. This particular tip comes from the fact that not a lot is known about IIH. I have people constantly in my life who are just like, well, what causes IIH? How did you get IIH? And I've come to accept the fact that we don't know what caused it. I have no idea how I got it. Saying and hearing, I don't know, I think scares a lot of people. But trust the experts that tell you they don't know. Those are the best ones. So that's kind of my piece of advice around that one. Number 2, during your extra time, find something new to try. This could include a hobby. So for example, for me, I've been doing puzzles. I've actually been learning the guitar. No, I'm not going to play it yet because there is no way I'm ready for that. I am lucky if I can get a few chords, and I'm just getting onto like our basic arpeggios. I'm very, very at the beginning of that whole journey. And I also make YouTube videos. It's how I fill up my time, but this is also great therapy for me. If I have something on my mind, like this has been particularly, then I can get it out. And even if I don't put it out to the public, I can talk a little bit about what's been on my mind, and even just talking to the camera is often enough for me to get it off my mind to the point I forget about it. So it's just kind of acknowledging the fact that it's there and just dealing with it as it comes. This is one of those examples that if you're looking for something to do, try something new. I'm gonna actually maybe go around and kind of show you all the things that I did when I first got sick with IIH. because I just recently got them put together because we moved last year. Puzzles are one of my favorite things to do. They take a while to do. I kind of do have to be feeling well enough to sit up. It is a quieter activity that doesn't take a lot of energy, so I do like it for that reason. And then if I'm stuck inside, it's a good thing to do too, and it's a nice way to get off my screen. So there's a couple different reasons why I don't mind doing puzzles. The guitar is something I kind of do kind of later at night when I'm kind of getting ready for bed. I don't really play it all that much during the day, and it's just kind of something I picked up recently, so I'm not very consistent with practicing it yet. Okay, so my next tip, this is something that I actually had to discover on my own. And as soon as I put this into action, everything got a lot better for me. So I think this is honestly should have been tip number one, but these are in no particular order. It's just kind of the way I come up with them. So tip number 3 from me is adopt some kind of routine that you can do every single day. Keeping my day consistent has made time rapidly speed up. And this includes the same time that you go to bed and the same time that you get up every day. So despite the fact that I don't have to be at a certain place at 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm often up at 6:30 a.m. And it's just because I found that I like to be up earlier in the morning and go to bed earlier at night. But honestly, it really doesn't matter the way you do this as long as you keep it consistent. And you'll be surprised at how fast and how quickly things speed up when you have a very consistent routine. My days actually vary between Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I do a different routine compared to Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. So Monday, Wednesday, Fridays are the days I do my workouts. Filming for me is a little bit more inconsistent, but so I do TikTok every single day except for Sundays. I do filming for YouTube usually on Thursday or Saturday. Lately, for the past probably couple of months, it's been on Saturdays, but that I have a little bit of room for adjustment and all of that. But as long as I do it in the morning on Thursday or Saturday for the following week, everything is usually good for that. And it's amazing as to keeping things very steady as to how fast your day goes, especially those mornings that I do my workouts, because I get up at the same time. I meditate then for half an hour. I have my breakfast. Lately, and I keep forgetting to mention this in my videos, I've been uploading 3 videos to Facebook. One gets published immediately, the other 2 go into scheduled release for a later time during that date. And by the time I get that done, it's time for a workout. Then I do my workout. By the time I get that done, time for shower. Then I do TikTok. Like, there's a lot that I'm doing, but I'm spreading it out, so it's taking longer to do. So by the time I've had lunch, I've gotten a lot of things done, but it's just finding that consistency and being consistent. And I find the days that I have less planned is the days that the days just crawl. And actually, I remember before I adopted a bit of a routine, before I had my YouTube channel and started with the schedule and all that. That's one of the reasons why I have a YouTube schedule, is to keep me consistent, or I'd be constantly procrastinating. I am terrible at procrastination. And the time would crawl. It would seem like forever that things would, it would just seem like the days would go on and on and on and on. So I can imagine how that's been hard for most people who all of a sudden go from being really, really extremely busy to doing nothing at all. Because that's exactly what happened to me after I finished my degree. Because I was extremely, extremely busy at the end of my degree. And then all of a sudden, click, you're done. It's the summer. There's not a lot going on. And you don't notice it for the first few days because you actually enjoy the break, and then all of a sudden you're getting bored because you realize that you have a lot of time, So finding a new routine, I think, is really, really important, which is why I've gone on a little bit on this one. Self-care is gonna be kind of tip number 4. I'm gonna include 2 different examples in this. So I've already talked about exercise. I've shown you my exercise. I've talked endlessly about my exercise. I probably won't be talking about it again unless I happen to change something drastically, which I can't see happening unless I was to pick something new up. And then for me in particular, adopting mindfulness meditation has been huge in managing my stress. And I strongly suggest you guys do it. Actually, now is a perfect time to do it. You're not going to see the benefits of it right away. It's something that takes a while to see the benefits of. This is all the examples that I had written down. This is not an exhaustive list by any means. For most of us, it's a sudden unexpected change. For me, I think the adjustment was a little bit slower just because I wasn't able to understand what was going on. And then all of a sudden, when you get a diagnosis, it's just like, yes, I got a diagnosis. And then it's adjusting to that. And that took several months. And that's before I had a routine. If you guys have any questions or comments, concerns, all of that normal stuff, feel free to leave them down below in the comments. And as for now, that's it for today. Bye, everyone.